Hey there, I'm Louie, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to make this vest, this like tunic vest thing to add to your little amigurumi creations. I like using it for my orcs, but it could also be used for pretty much anything as long as it's only 18 stitches around and the body is about that high up. So yeah, this is how to crochet a vest. Here's our cold orc. Oh, he's so cold. We want to add our vest to him. So we're using all worsted weight yarn in brown, and because I'm using worsted weight yarn, I'm using a size G 4mm crochet hook. You also need a pair of scissors and a darning needle. All right, well, let's get hooking. So we're going to start with a slip knot, and you want this tail, you don't need this tail to be too long. We're going to start with the slip knot here. We're going to start by chaining 17. Okay, and you don't want these chains to be too tight, but you also don't want them to be too loose either. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and 17. So you should have 17 chains. Should be about that long. Now, when you're looking at a chain, there's the top loop right there. There's the bottom loop right there. I like working into the back loop, which is kind of like the spine of this chain. You can see these little parts here. They're kind of hard to get your crochet hook into, but they make a very solid like a line at the end. So we're going to be working into that. So for round 1, we are going to skip the first chain that we made right there, and starting into the second chain from the hook and working into the back loop only, we're going to single crochet all the way across. So we're going to use our fingernail to get into that back loop like that. We're going to single crochet into that back loop, boom, okay? And we're just going to single crochet all the way across. So I'm just going to use my fingernail to get into that back loop. And there should be 16 single crochets as you go across. And you'll notice that the piece will start to curve as you go. Don't worry about that. We can fix that at the end. But yeah, just do single crochets into each stitch all the way across. Okay, so we're coming to the end right here. This is our last stitch. And for the last stitch, you want to pull through, but you don't want to finish up the single crochet yet. You want to take this tail end, yarn over with it, and pull that through the 2 loops first. And this is going to help hide it in. Okay. And now we can go back into the stitch, yarn over, and pull through to finish up our single crochets. Okay, so that's going to be the end of round 1. Now we're going to turn our piece, and you can see I stretched it out. It was kind of curved in like that. So you can kind of like stretch it out, and it should lie more flat. Okay, so for round 2, we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we're going to skip 2 stitches. I'm actually going to sew this tail in at the end, so let's just pull it off to the side. We're going to skip 2 stitches. There's our first stitch right there. There's our second stitch. And starting into the third stitch from the end, we're going to do a double crochet. 1, 2, boom. We're going to double crochet into that third one. You want to make sure you're in both loops too. You don't want to work only in back loops or front loops. Do our double crochet, and you're going to do 11 double crochets, 1 into each stitch. So we're going to do single crochet or double crochet into the next 11 stitches. So we got 1, 2. We'll just continue on. These are kind of cool. I use them mostly, of course, for these little orcs, but I don't know. I just thought it was kind of a cool little pattern. I figured I'd do have it be its own little quick video. Okay. There should be 3 stitches after you've finished your 11 single or double crochets. There should be 3 stitches left over, which means we have 1 more right here. Okay. All right, so that'll be our 11 double crochets. Now you want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, and go into that last stitch. So we skip the next two, 1, 2, into this last one. It's kind of like curved off to the side like that. You want to get your crochet hook in there, and you want to just slip stitch. Okay, there you go. All right, so now we can cut the end. And you can see I left somewhat long end, not too bad though. Just pull it all the way through. And now we can just hide these two ends. Whoop. Okay. And I'd like just going into, actually let's go from this side. I just like going into the single crochets from the previous stitch. Just going into like, I don't know, 3 of them. That's pretty good. And pull it somewhat tight, but not, don't go crazy with it. And then we'll do the same with this end here. And we'll just go into, just need to hide the ends into some stitches so that it doesn't come sticking out. Okay, that seems pretty good. Now we can cut these two ends pretty close. Okay, that one might not have been close enough, but it'll be fine. And now we can just add this to our piece. So let's warm our little guy up here. We're just going to take the two ends here, and it might take a bit of stretching to get the first arm on. But you can usually just squish it in like that. See, for these arms, the front of the arm is a little bit bigger than the inside. So there we go. And we'll go around the outside, and go over the other arm, like so. All right, and that's how you're going to add a vest to your crocheted characters, which again I use mostly for these orcs and the trolls in my Goblinoid pattern ebook or pattern bundle. And there you go, and got a little vest on now. It's a little bit warmer, a little bit fancier, and yeah. Thanks again for watching. Pasta la pizza, and happy hooking. Bye.